This is the second attempt at the SpudHeads debate podcast. Today's topic will be over whether or not the MCU should have ended at Infinity War instead of Endgame. Arguing for the status quo, that being that it should have ended at the end of Endgame, we have Everett.
Yo!
And then arguing the affirmative in the case of it should have ended at the end of Infinity War after Thanos did his snap.
Fangis.
Is Fangis. Since Cole is arguing the affirmative, he will be able to start your first constructive argument.
Okay. So, the Russo brothers, the directors of this movie, specifically set up the movie so that Thanos was the hero. He was the hero in his own story. Now, going off of that, we can continue to believe that Thanos won. The hero won, is what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that the hero won by Thanos getting his goal done. And whenever the last scene happens, you know, the soundtrack and everything...
Spoilers! Spoiler alert!
I'm already gonna put a spoiler warning.
It's obvious spoiler alert.
Dude, okay.
Hey, let him talk!
So, whenever the final soundtrack plays, everything about the final scene supports that Thanos won, that the hero of this story won, and that what he did was right in his own story, which had a final moment. And I think that kind of just set everyone, I think it just set a final moment and it just kind of ended everything. And it should have been, it really would have been it would have been uncanny, the ending would have, but it would have been one that would have been really impactful and would have done really well. Okay, that is my first.
Would you have been satisfied with all of those people dying?
Yes.
Shut up!
Yes, I would.
You don't get to comment!
Okay, I am done.
That concludes the 1AC. Everett, you now have a few moments to ask any questions over... You're asking questions about his.
Yeah.
Cross-contamination
I'm going
segment.
to. But I've got a couple questions. Would you say that is a good ending for 20 movies of just this movies?
Let me explain. So the MCU it's a miracle how they even managed to carry on this long. They had a plan from the very beginning what they were going to do. So going off of that, because this is a miracle, because this is something that should have never existed, they should have done what they should have basically done their mission statement, which is, that they're not like other movie producers, and they should have made it different. They should have made it where the hero finally, the heroes who everyone think are the heroes, they should have made it where they finally did not win, which would have set a track of, new things to come for movie producers. It would have been really impactful in the industry. So yes, I think it is worth it to have 20 plus movies and to end it on such a weird note.
So you're saying that it was a good wrap up, that
yes,
it was a great conclusion to this.
It was a good conclusion because it showed that.
That's my questions.
Okay.
Alright, Everett. Okay. It's now time to begin your first negative constructive. Feel free to introduce your own arguments as well as refute any he has produced.
Avengers Endgame is the best ending. Let me tell you why, okay? Just hear me out, okay? It concluded everything. It wrapped up where everyone went, okay? Mostly in the grave. Or, old. But that's so much of a better ending than our new hero, who is somehow our now new hero being the victor. We followed these other people, and you're saying, well, the Russo brothers did a great job on showing how those were actually the villains and how they lost. But even though we've been following these Avengers for, I think, I'm just gonna say 20 movies now. I don't know the exact number.
It's like
just them losing.
21-ish.
It shows the conclusion to that. Of our heroes that we followed for so many movies pull off the victory. That's the end of my statement.
Okay. Cole, feel free to ask any questions.
why do you think the Russo brothers, or not even that for that matter, why do you think Marvel as a whole let Thanos win in Infinity War? If you have an answer.
I don't know why.
It's a hard question.
It was a little different than most of our movies to completely, well, just to change the protagonist, if that. Some could argue that Thor was the protagonist.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay. That I know. It's a tough question. I understand. Okay, that's my only question.
Okay. Cole, you can now begin your first affirmative rebuttal. We're skipping the second constructive because since there's only one person.
So Everett, you said they, they followed all these people for 21 plus or whatever, around 21 roughly movies, and then they led up to that. I can see like how you're looking at the perspective, but if you notice throughout these movies, they always give hints of another timeline, another storyline, which is Thanos, which is him showing him how he wants to give salvation. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to give another storyline in which they're showing another quote-unquote protagonist who is, in fact, trying to give salvation compared to the, Avengers. Even though that, yes, they did have perspectives of them, it could also be argued that the Avengers are not actually the only heroes in the whole MCU, because remember, they planned this from the very beginning. So there's not to say that Thanos was the hero from the very beginning, and that Thanos was actually right all along. That is my rebuttal.
Can I get a counter rebuttal to that?
You do. Don't worry.
So here's my thing.
Wait. Now's your time. You get your first negative rebuttal. You can't really necessarily introduce your new arguments, but you can refute what he already said.
We still get a hero of Thanos. That's just not where it ends. It ends somewhere else. His victory does get taken away. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Okay, now, Everett, you get to now say your second negative rebuttal. In that this is the conclusion. You're saying why you won. And for what reasons.
You just won. I'm sorry.
You just said because of...
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I already won.
Okay. That concludes your second negative rebuttal. Cole, your second affirmative rebuttal.
Okay.
So the final argument.
Okay. So
Why have you won?
why it should have ended in Infinity War? Thanos is a person he is a villain who is perfectly made. He is not a villain who wants to blow up the world just because he can. He is a villain who has actual motivation because he experienced the issues himself, so he wants to help other people. And the thing with that is he also never kills. He doesn't kill unless he absolutely has to. And that's what changes in Endgame. In Endgame,
That's a stupid statement.
I'm not
Yeah,
done.
He doesn't kill.
I'm not done. He doesn't kill. No, I never said he doesn't kill. I never said he doesn't kill unless he has to, which is very true. Until Endgame, whenever
Well,
he...
does he have to all
You're not
the
allowed to-
time?
Shut up!
Listen,
Shut up!
in Endgame, he
Thank
develops
you.
a more killing aspect because of the fact that you see that he wants to completely just get rid of everyone. In Endgame, I think that he was not the same Thanos, which is true because he's in 2014. But they developed a different Thanos, which was not the same villain, which did not have the same motivations, which did not kill unless he had to. So in my opinion, that Thanos is different, so that makes it an even worse ending, because that was not the Thanos that everyone else had developed in their mind. That is my argument.
That concludes the debate. Now, I hope that everybody who judges this, just want to let you know We're judging not based on personal opinion. We're based on solely on who argued better. So
So I obviously won.
That was the
God
podcast.
damn it.
I hope you all enjoyed it. Okay, bye.